press box organization and all those types of things that if we'd have practiced indoors, we'd have never been able to do it. It really wasn't that bad out there. We probably had about a 40-minute break. But I really thought we had some tempo, you know, especially early on offense. I thought we ran the ball really effectively. I thought both quarterbacks did a good job. You know, I think it would be unfair to either player to really evaluate any kind of passing statistics based on today. First of all, you almost have to include the drops, because there were a few drops because of the conditions. And, you know, I just don't think it would be fair based on those conditions to try to make some kind of statistical assessment. So, you know, that's not the most important thing, you know, to us. I think we have a lot of things that we did very well out there today. You know, I thought all three of our backs, you know, played really well. Receivers made plays. You know, defensively, you know, we have a long way to go. I think we missed a lot of tackles. We have a lot of young players that are getting a lot of opportunities because of the players that we have out. You know, we have a lot of defensive players that are out that if you add them up into two deep, you know, that's quite a few guys. Well, the good part about that is you know, some of the freshman players who may be able to help us are getting lots of turns, lots of reps. They also, it goes to the territory that they make a few more mistakes. But that's the best learning opportunities that they have, right? That when they make a mistake, they sort of get an opportunity to learn more, grow more, and maybe improve as a player more quickly. You know, I was really pleased with the kicking game part of it today. You know, the punter punted well, and you know, I think Griff was 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 7 or something like that. 4 out of 5. And the one he missed, he really didn't have his holder in there. It was right when the storm was coming, and you know, we tried to get, you know, finish the drive with the field goal, and he ended up kicking with the 2s. But I thought he did a good job. Did a good job of kicking off. J.J. Scott was, you know, pretty effective. So, you know, obviously when we watch this film, there's a lot of things that we need to improve on. We have a long way to go in terms of developing a team. And, you know, the players have to understand why good teams win. And they got to be willing to do the things to develop the habits that are going to make them successful on a consistent basis. And, you know, that's what we're going to continue to try to work on over this next week.
Start with Andrew.
And just when throughout the fall and just kind of preparing the defense for another season full of up-tempo offense, have you changed what you simulate in practice? Is it hard to get them real?
Well, we do it in practice every day, and we usually do it good on good. We actually scrimmaged a segment of it today. I don't know, it was probably 8 or 10 plays. So, you know, it is hard to simulate when you're not a no-huddle team. All right, but our team is capable of being a no-huddle team. So we practice that against each other, and it's the best way that we can get the best look. So we have practiced it more. But, you know, in all honesty, guys, you know, you all make way too much of this. I mean, the last game, the team had 21 points against us with 30 seconds to go in the game, and I don't think anybody held in the 21 points all year long. I mean, I saw them score 60 in the SEC championship game or whatever. You know, we shut Ole Miss out here. You know, we had 4 turnovers against Oklahoma that led to 28 points. 2 of them, the defense never even got back on the field. So there were 14 points that they didn't show up for. They run a kickoff back for a touchdown, recovered a fumble for a touchdown, and gave the ball another time on a 13-yard line. So, you know, when you look in it deeply relative to how the other teams do we need to play better, or do we play as well against those teams as maybe some other teams? I guess you could make a case for that. But I do think that it's much more difficult for defensive players to sustain their intensity throughout the game when they're playing that many plays. So it becomes a team thing. How about keeping the ball away from them? How about controlling the ball on offense so they don't have the ball so much? So that's something that we did in the A&M game. We didn't play very well on defense in that game, in my opinion. We didn't play very well on defense in the Oklahoma game. But, I mean, we make it out like we're like horrible when we play a team. We played 7 no-huddle teams last year. And, you know, we didn't play as well as we should have in a couple of those games. But I also think that it takes the defensive coaches out of the game. We do a good job of scheming people when we play them. We do a good job of telling our players how they need to play things and how to stop what they do. And when you play a no-huddle team, you can't do as good a job of that. You can't do as good a job of that. They don't recognize it as fast. All right, and I don't care how you practice it, it's going to be difficult unless you're a no-huddle team yourself. And that has a downside because how do you coach the players? You can't coach them between plays because everything's about how fast you go. So, you know, we're going to improve on it. We're practicing it better. We need to improve on it. But I think we need to improve on defense, period. I think we need to improve in coverage. I think we need to improve in mental errors. I think we need to improve on how we strike people up front. I think we missed too many tackles today, so we got to tackle a whole lot better. And, you know, we can't give up big plays. And we got to be able to pressure the quarterback better. So I think if we can do all those things better, we'll probably play against everybody better.
Coach, I guess a little bit of a follow-up on defense. That's the defensive lineman not back. You have at least one A-Sean out with an injury. How did that affect the defensive line today? Did anybody step up today that you noticed?
Yeah, I think Jonathan Allen's really been playing well. I think Petway's really been playing well. You know, Darren Lake has made some improvement. You know, Foster is a freshman who's getting lots of turns and lots of reps. So, you know, there are guys that are making a significant amount of improvement. You know, Dalvin was really playing well. He got his toe stepped on, so he didn't really scrimmage today. He got his toe stepped on, you know, last night in practice. So, you know, he might be a day or two or whatever, but but all those guys have played better. That was the one part of our team that I thought we had a lot more depth in going into this camp. But we have had a lot of players absent for various reasons that, you know, has not been one of the strengths that we thought it would be. But every one of those players we will get back at some point in time.
Right there.
Statistics aside, how would you evaluate the quarterbacks in terms of the job they did in the huddle, leading the guys through not the best of situations out there?
I think they both did a lot of good things. I think they both have some things that they wish they had back. And I think they both probably made some choices and decisions that we can improve on. But I also think both guys showed that they're capable of doing what we need to do with them on offense so that we can be effective with the other players that we have. So we're not pleased or satisfied completely with where they are, but you know, we're not disappointed in the progress that we're making at that position. And it was a tough day to operate out there. I mean, after the first, I think, series that each team had, you know, we're 40 minutes in the locker room and then we go out there and, you know, it's raining the whole time. So, but I thought both guys handled that well too.
Mike?
You mentioned Dalvin being hadn't supposed to have anybody else, and health concerns at all coming out of the scrimmage?
Well, you know, we got some guys that, I think the biggest concern would be Freitag, got a turf toe out there, so those are always difficult, and we probably need to further evaluate that. Gino sprained his knee, he'll probably be out for a day or two, a couple days maybe, I don't know. You know, we had a couple guys get mild ankle sprains, but Dominic Jackson probably has an ankle sprain that might keep him out for a couple weeks. You know, that probably got the worst. But everything else was just mixed.
Go, Mark.
What did you see from the corners today, and is that one of the spots like you were talking about where injuries could put some freshmen in the mix? And along that line, how much was Eddie Jackson able to do today?
We didn't scrimmage Eddie today. I mean, he probably could have scrimmaged today, but we did not. That was our choice, you know, not to do that. You know, he's been doing a good job in practice. You know, I don't think that's a position that you can play if you're not 100%. And he's certainly making great progress, but can do everything in practice. But I don't think he's ready to go out there and scrimmage football yet. You know, Cyrus Jones has had a really good camp. Bradley Sylvie's done a really good job so far. Those two guys have done a good job. You know, Tony and Marlon are learning. Maurice Smith has done a good job, you know, so far. So they're all getting plenty of turns and they're all getting to play a lot.
Chris?
You talked at the beginning of the camp about refining your identity. It's only been a week, but do you like what you've seen so far?
Well, you know, I like this team. I kind of feel like, you know, this team has a lot of togetherness. I think they like each other off the field. I think they need to take the brotherhood to the field, you know, a little bit. I think, you know, leadership is something that is a work in progress that we need to keep working on. I think we have a lot more maturity on offense right now in terms of older, more experienced players who have leadership qualities than maybe we do on defense. But I think we certainly need to develop that.
Two quick ones, DC Ken.
From what you're able to see, I know you haven't seen film, but just how the offensive line and Cam Robinson fared out there.
Cam Robinson's doing really, really well. He's been doing really well all camp. I've been encouraged by the offensive line, you know, to this point. You know, Leon will probably start doing, you know, some stuff this week, or at least go through his sort of acclimation period that he has to go through. So, you know, it takes 5 days to really, 4 days to get him to where they're being passed like everybody else. But that's probably a good thing, and it's probably helpful to him in terms of his rehab. But Shep's been playing really good. You know, Ryan Kelly has been playing really well. RE is consistent. Shank has been playing consistently, doing a good job. And we've been physical, you know, up front. Dominic is a very physical player. He was going to certainly have a presence. You know, Pierce Parker looks, as a freshman, like a guy that